So essentially, I'll be guiding you step by step on how to use cold email in your business to generate meetings with qualified prospects and book new clients. So you're going to be learning how to build an optimized cold email system, land your emails in the inboxes, avoid landing in spam folders, create skips that is going to get you positive responses, maintain deliverability so you don't land in spam, and turn responses into booked meetings. So who is this video for and who is this video not for? So this video is for you if you run a B2B agency, you are willing and you are able to add more clients to your business right now, and you want a cold email system that generates 5 to 15 sales calls per month for your business. And this video is for you if you are majorly relying on referrals right now to get new clients. So your method of getting clients right now is not reliable. If people do not refer your business, you are done. Your business is done. So if you are this kind of person and you're running a B2B agency, then this video is for you. And this video is not for you if you are not currently running a B2B agency. You believe cold email is illegal or it's immoral, you don't believe in cold email at all, or you don't have the ability to add more clients to your business right now. Now, very fast, who am I? I'm Emmanuel Agbola and I help lead generation agency and other B2B businesses add new clients and generate revenue using cold email. So, how exactly can you make cold email work for you and add more revenue to your business? You need to follow 7 major but simple steps. Number 1, you need to set up and authenticate both your cold email domain and the email account. You need to warm up your email account. Then you need to build a list of your prospect, your ICP. Your ICP is a profile of the people that are the most likely to patronize your business. Now, once you're done building your list, you need to write a cold email copy that actually gets your prospect interested in your offer. And the next step, you're going to need to write multiple sequences to follow up with your leads. Next, after this, you need to set up your campaign, optimize it, maintain your delivery, make sure you're getting into the inboxes of your leads, and make sure your domain and inbox health is always at 100%. The next step and the last step is to handle replies from your leads and convert them into sales calls. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up and authenticate both your domain and the email accounts you will be using to send your cold emails. Now, what is the setup and authentication all about? Setup and authentication simply means you're buying domains and the email accounts that you will be needing to send cold emails, and you're authenticating them for deliverability. You can do every other aspect of cold emailing perfectly, but if you don't have your domains and your emails set up the correct way, you are going to face major deliverability issues that can ruin your entire cold email outreach. So your setup and authentication basically includes 5 major steps. These 5 steps are the steps you absolutely have to carry out if you want to make sure you land in the inbox and not in the spam of your leads. So what are these steps? First of all, you are going to buy domains and create your email accounts. You can buy domains from Namecheap or GoDaddy, and you can buy your email accounts from Microsoft or Google. Those are the recommended marketplaces for domains and email accounts. because they are very reliable. So after getting your domain and email accounts, you need to set up your SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and the MX records. After that, you need to set up your own custom tracking domain. I'm going to explain all this to you in the next minute. Then you need to set up forwarding to your main domain. Then you need to test your setup. That is, you need to check your authentication to make sure it's actually properly configured. So let's dive right in. Now, step 1. Buying domains and creating email accounts. You are going to need a domain and email accounts to actually send cold emails to your leads. So like I said previously, you can buy your domains from Namecheap or GoDaddy, and you can get your email accounts from Google or Microsoft, also known as Outlook. Now, why do you get your domains from these two platforms? Like I said before, cold emailers around the world face the least issues when using these platforms. You understand me? Take for example, there are cheaper alternatives to this platform, but people usually get poor support or services from them. So it's better to stick to the popular ones. So how many domains and email accounts should you buy? Now this depends on how many emails you need to send per day. Take for example, if I need to set up a cold email system, I buy as many domains as I need to send my target emails per day. Take for example, if I plan to send about 1,000 cold emails per day, and knowing for myself that I can only send about 20 to 25 emails per day from one email account, then to consistently send 1,000 cold emails per day, I'm going to need 1,000 divided by 25. That means I'm going to need to buy approximately 40 emails. But I also register a maximum of just 3 emails on one domain. So if I'm going to need about 40 email accounts, then I'm going to need exactly 40 divided by 3, which approximately will land me about 14 domains. So I'm going to be buying 14 domains and 40 email accounts on these 14 domains. However, there's a special advice I'm going to give you. For the kind of volume that I'm going to be sending now, I'm going to buy 2 extra domains, meaning I'll have 6 extra email accounts. Why is this? This is so that just in case we need to stop using these emails on one of the existing domains due to deliverability issues, we can switch these emails and avoid destroying the deliverability of old domains or old emails. So what am I saying? If one of the 14 domains is malfunctioning, or perhaps even 2 of them, then I'm going to know that I have already 2 extra domains. I have 2 extra domains just in case any of those original 14 domains or 40 email accounts develops an issue. So I'm going to just switch to the 2 extra domains / 6 email accounts. However, there are 3 major things you need to know before buying a domain name for your cold email setup. These 3 things can either make or break your cold email system and either help you or destroy your efforts, which I don't wish for you. Now, the first thing you need to know is that you must never use your main domain to send cold emails. Why? You must get a secondary domain instead. Why is this? This is to protect the reputation of your main website. You see, when you're sending out cold emails, the reputation of your domain is part of the factors that will determine if your emails will land in spam. Maybe your leads will see them, or perhaps it will bounce, meaning it will not even get delivered at all. And if you make a mistake, there is always a risk of your domain's reputation being spoiled. This is very significant. Why? Because if your domain's reputation is spoiled, that means your emails will not be delivered, or they are going to be delivered into the spam folder. Now, even if you stick to cold email best practices, you can still bounce some emails and get some spam complaints. If that happens to your main domain and its reputation drops, or even worse, if your main domain gets destroyed, you might lose the ability to send normal emails to your colleagues or perhaps even existing clients. So that's exactly why you should have a secondary domain to send out mass cold emails, so that if you make any mistakes at all, your ability to send normal emails through your normal domain, through your main domain, will not be affected. Now, take for example, if your main domain is greatleads.com, you can have a secondary domain that sounds like trygreatleads.com or findgreatleads.com. So remember, never use your main domain. Now, the second important note is that you must choose a TLD with good reputation. What is a TLD? TLDs are the extensions after your domain. Take for example, .com, .org, .xyz, .io. They are examples of TLDs. And before buying a domain for your cold email setup, you need to avoid bounce backs. And before you can be able to avoid bounce backs or to avoid landing in spam, you need to choose a top level domain with a good reputation. Now, your TLD can influence whether you land in spam or you land in the inbox. Why is this so? The reason for this is because some top level domains are commonly used by scammers. So, certain spam filters will automatically block them from reaching your prospect's inbox. And another point is such that people trust certain TLDs much more than others. Now, take for example, if you get a cold email from someone you absolutely don't know, and they are using a domain name such as their name.xyz, you are not very likely to trust them. But if you see something like .com, .io, or .net, your trust is very likely to be much more. You understand? So you need to choose a reputable TLD like .com, .io, .net, .co.uk, .ca, and etc. And you need to avoid domain TLDs like .xyz, .biz, .haus, .fyi, .beauty, .live, .tk, or .cf. If you need a list of TLDs you need to avoid in your cold email setup, then visit domaintools.com. domaintools.com. Visit domaintools.com. My network is not necessarily great right now, so give me a minute. Just a minute. or you can simply search on Google bad TLDs for cold email sending. So Google is going to bring you a list of top level domains that you absolutely must not buy. Take for example, like I said, avoid.xyz. So look at these TLDs and make sure you avoid them. They are often used for spam campaigns. So now, the third thing you need to know before buying a domain for your cold email setup is that you must always check the sender reputation of your domain. Now, one of the most important factors that affects your cold email's deliverability is your domain's sender reputation. Why is your sender reputation important? Your domain's sender reputation is like a score that is attached to your domain based on the sending behavior of your domain. If your domain has a poor reputation, then your emails are more likely to land in spam. So if you buy a domain with a poor reputation, that means you'll have wasted your money, you'll have wasted your resources, and you'll have wasted your time before you realize that you are on a block list. Because most domains with poor reputations are on block lists. And most of the time, you might not be able to repair the damage to the domain. So before you buy a secondary domain for your cold email setup, make sure you check the domain's sender reputation. And one way to easily check the sender reputation of your domain is by going to mxtoolbox.com. When you get to mxtoolbox.com, you enter your domain name and you check if it's on any blacklist. Let's quickly do that for a random domain. Let's check. Now, if your domain is greatleads.com, you are going to click come to this trigger or drop down menu and then come to blacklist check. You want to check if your domain is on any blacklist. Click on that and then double click again. So take for example now, this domain trygreatleads.com has no issues. It's not on any blacklist that was checked. So the MX Toolbox checked your domain in 9 known blacklists. You understand? Let's try another domain. Let's try fb.com. Click on the blacklist check. You can see fb.com was checked in 70 blacklists and it was not there. So it means if this domain is available, you can absolutely buy it. You understand? Let's check XYZ. So that is all. Now that's all you need to know right now about setting up your domain, your email account, and authenticating it. Now, it on the same video. So now, the next step after getting your domain and setting up your email account is your domain authentication, which is simply setting up your SPF, your DKIM, and your DMARC records. Now, this is how you avoid landing in spam. Now, what is domain authentication? Domain authentication is a way to make sure your emails do not end up in the spam folder. If you want to send out mass cold emails, or you are just looking to send out marketing emails from your business email address, you could have written great cold emails, have a perfect subject line, but if email providers don't trust you, take for example, if Google and Microsoft don't trust you, your emails will not reach your leads inboxes. So this domain authentication is how you prove to Google, Microsoft, and other email providers that you are a real sender, that you are not a spammer or a scammer. Now, think of this like showing your ID before entering a building. If you're working at a place, even if the security guards know you from the day you were born, if you do not have your ID, you are not going to enter the building. That's exactly what domain authentication is all about. This ID are now the domain and email authentication that you do using DNS records. They are a bit technical, you understand. They are a bit technical, so you might want to hire someone to do this for you. But if you can follow technical instructions, absolutely set it up yourself, then that's fine as well. So now, I already explained why domain authentication matters. If you have a bad authentication or your authentication is not set up correctly, you are not going to land in inbox. And if you don't land in inbox, you won't even have an opportunity to pitch your offer. You understand? So if you don't authenticate your domain, your email open rate will stay extremely low. People will never see your message. So that means replies will drop even if your cold email copy is very strong. Another thing is that email platforms will limit or suspend your sending, and your domain is very likely to be labeled as untrusted. And this happens before anyone gets to read your email. So that means all the great copy that you've written does not even get seen. So what are the records you need to set up? You need to set up 4 major DNS records to make sure you land in your leads inbox. And these 4 records are the SPF record, the DKIM record, the MX record, and the DMARC record. I'm going to give you a very brief explanation of each. A deep explanation would require more time, which is not necessarily available right now. So what is the SPF record? It is your sender policy framework, and it is like a spell that tells everyone on the internet which email server is allowed to send emails acting like you. You're basically giving email servers permission to send on your behalf. Take for example, if you're using an email server like Aweber or MailChimp to send emails on your behalf, and you allow them to use your domain to send out cold emails, you do this by adding them to your SPF record. So basically, this is you authorizing email servers to send emails on your behalf. The next record is your DKIM record, also known as Domain Keys Identified Mail. This record acts like you are putting a secret sticker that only you have access to on all the emails you send. So take for example, when someone gets your email Their service provider can check the sticker to make sure this email really came from you and that no one changed it. Essentially, all these records are simply to make sure that no one is sending out spam emails. You understand? So by setting up these records, you are giving your email provider and your sending platform access to attach these special stickers to the emails that you are sending, so that any system that detects your email will know that it definitely came from you. Now, one major reason this is needed is because there are so much malicious people out there that try to hack your email and send emails on your behalf, and this you know nothing about. This special sticker, this special symbol that you attach to your emails is one of the ways the email systems will know that emails are not from you. The next record you need to set up is your MX record. Now, this MX record will is actually a way of you receiving responses. So if you've sent out a cold email and you're getting a response, you're basically setting up the MX record to make sure that your incoming emails go to a certain server. For example, if you use Namecheap to get your domain and you get your email account from Google Workspace, if you're setting up an MX record, you're telling the whole internet, do not send emails to Namecheap servers. Send them to Gmail servers instead. You understand? Good. So the fourth record and the last record you need to set up is your DMARC record. This is another big magic spell, figuratively. It uses both the DKIM and the SPF to make sure the emails coming from you are safe. The DMARC record is telling email services what to do if someone tries to send an email that does not follow the rules of the online space, or if someone tries to send an email that does not have your special symbol attached or special sticker. So every single person that is sending out emails need to have this record set up correctly for their domains and the email account. So the DMARC record is basically telling the system what to do with emails that bounce. So setting up all these records is different based on your domain provider and your hosting, or your email provider and sending platform that you use. So you are going to need to do personal research on how to authenticate and verify your domain and email accounts on these platforms. So after you've authenticated your domains, you need to set up something called custom tracking domain. What is a custom tracking domain? A custom tracking domain is a tool that has replaced any generic link that your sending platform adds to your email in order to track your email opens and click-throughs. Take for example, if you're sending out an email and you're trying to track the open rate and the click-through rate, your sending platform is most likely to use links that are very generic, links that are used for other people as well. And if the link used for other people has a problem, then it is going to affect your own domain. So you need to set up a custom tracking domain so that you have your own tracking domain that is used to track your own open rates or your click-through rate or any other thing you need to track in the cold emails that you send out. And this is very important because a custom tracking domain is going to improve your deliverability. You are going to be more likely to land in the inbox instead of the spam folder. Also, a custom tracking domain is going to improve people's trust in clicking your links. You understand? Now, it's also going to improve your sending reputation with your own custom link, and it prevents spammers from acting like you. So these are some of the ways you prevent landing in spam and you prevent your sender reputation being damaged. So if you're using any platform to send out your cold emails, you can definitely reach out to me and I'm going to guide you on how to set it up or do it for you or set it up for you at a very, very reasonable rate. Now, the next thing you need to set up in making sure your domain is authenticated is an improvement like the domain forwarding. What is domain forwarding? Now, domain forwarding is a way to redirect people that has visited one domain to another domain or another website. You understand? The benefits of setting up a forwarding domain is like, one, you are maintaining a consistent brand image, you are preserving your website SEO, and you are improving user experience. So anyone that clicks any of your link in any cold email you send, or perhaps you send out a cold email and your prospect wants to check out your website, but you remember you have multiple domains. So if they click on any of those secondary domains that you have, they are going to not trust you because you can't have a website for each one of those domains. So this domain forwarding is a way for you to forward any person that clicks those secondary domains to your main website. You understand? So like I said, since you are using secondary domains to send your cold emails, it is very best to set up forwarding to your main domain or your main website, so that when clients enter your sending domain to a browser's address bar, they are going to be taken to your main website. If you want to check how to set up domain for your specific platforms, specific domains and email accounts and email sending platforms, then you can reach out to me or just do a Google search. It's very, very easy to set up. Unless I forget, there are two main types of domain forwarding that exist. 301 is the permanent redirect. This is how you bring multiple domains together on one website, and the 302 is the temporary redirect. You understand? Now, the very last step to make sure all your setup is working well is to check every single domain authentication. You need to know if your domain has been verified. You need to check your SPF record, your MX record, your DKIM record, and your DMARC record. So if you need to check any of these records, you go back to mxtoolbox.com, you enter your domain name, take for example fb.com, then you come here, you are going to choose mx lookup, dmarc lookup as you want, spf lookup. Where is the spf lookup? Now, SPF record lookup and your DKIM lookup. Let's choose the DKIM.